Start. Okay, well this I think will be my absolute final design. I've already got a ABS mock-up of this in the machine working currently, and the results are actually quite fantastic. But I noticed a few little improvements I could make. Initially I had this fan area a little bit too big, and now I've got it what I think should be quite perfect. And I didn't have anywhere to tie off the wiring and so forth, so I've added these two holes here to pop a cable tie through. These conical surfaces here are basically similar to before, and if you don't know what they're for the ball socket joints to mount and still have some operating clearance around on this beveled area there. So the ball socket mounts right there on that face, and this conical area here is just to allow for the knuckle that goes over it to turn freely. The other thing I had to do slightly was change this diameter here, because the previous one was too thin a wall just there, and a few other little tweaks, but nothing huge. But the big thing that I'm doing right now is I'm printing it out of the ABS polycarbonate filament. So the polycarbonate really adds some toughness to the whole structure of it. Anyhow, so I'll just rotate that around so you can see all the different angles. That looks pretty good. Now I'll just bring the slicer here. Now polycarb has a lot of trouble sticking to my bed, so what I've done is put a raft layer here, because the raft layer extends beyond the surface of the print. Let me just get that. I'm used to my CAD system, it's a little bit different. Because it tapers out here, it's got quite an extended print area and it peels away from the base. Whereas with the raft layer will extend beyond the corner of the product. So hopefully it'll adhere a bit better. Okay, so I'm going to add the part. There's this TL. And the thing that I keep forgetting, I'll just rotate that at -90. The thing that I keep forgetting is to enlarge at that 2%. And I thought I wouldn't have to worry about it, but I do. These parts are a little bit too critical. Let me just see now the plater. What's the plater set up to do? Over the preview. Oh, well, it's already rendered it. One thing I like about Splicer, it does the rendering in the background while you're doing other things. So you can go back, change filament settings and so forth, and it immediately begins updating. Whereas I've got, what's it called, Simplify 3D. You set all your settings and then you go, okay, now we're going to do the slicing. So Simplify 3D itself is pretty quick at the slicing of the layers, but Slicer does it in the background, so quite often it's finished before you get there. And I actually find Slicer's way of slicing and constructing fill and so forth quite good. Simplify 3D has an advantage. You can specify manually supports without having sort of default behavior of filling up at the whole job with supports, or not having enough in the whole area. You can pick out a specific spot. Other than that, I much prefer Slicer to Simplify 3D. Yeah, I'm finding I'm getting better results out of it. But you do have to tweak Slicer more, I think. Simplify 3D's got very good defaults. And the way you get to that is, where are we? Preferences. You pick on the expert mode. Then you can tweak Slicer to do some really good stuff. If you go the simple, you have to restart it to see it. I'll just restart so you can see that difference. Print settings, and that a lot of the settings are taken away from you. So if I go back and change that to expert, actually if I open another instance, will that work? Well, this other instance has got the expert settings. So you can see the difference between the expert settings. You've got a lot more choices for settings. And honestly, I've been very happy with Slicer over Simplified 3D. I know you've seen in any of my other videos, I have my own little costing program that I've written. I'll just close all that. Where am I? Minimize that. So there's the printhead G-code. The way the costing works, you can see that's pretty well instantly worked out a calculation of how long it's going to take, what material they're going to use, yada yada. So that's producing the same report that Simplify 3D does, except I can just scratch around anywhere I see a G-code, click on it, and I get the report there and then. So I can even leave that open and check out another one. Let's go to another location. Server, 3D printing. Do I have any other G-codes around? Yeah, there's one. Printhead 3. So I can compare the two side by side even. And maybe even another one. There should be another G-code here somewhere. There we go. Lock spacer. So I can have multiple reports just by clicking on any random G-code around the place. So yeah, I've pretty much replaced that functionality from Simplify 3D with my own Python script, which I'm thinking about perfecting and then making it available for sale for a few dollars. Yeah, well, I hope that's of interest to you. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, ask a question, leave a comment. Yeah, bye for now.